Should be hopefully live for the TGL podcast number 4. So if you're watching this on our YouTube channel, then welcome. I'm HardyF1, creator and founder of the Game Lounge, as well as Kenny Colcos. So this is our 4th podcast. I'm going to just adjust the music here a second. Just make it a little bit louder. There we go. So yeah, welcome to the podcast. Unfortunately, it's just me today. Kenny Colcos is unavailable at the moment. So we've got lots of news to get through, lots of stuff to get through. So why don't you just pull up your nice little chair, put your headphones in, and sit back and relax for the TGL podcast. So if you have been following the channel for a little while, you may have noticed there was a bit of a break between the last video we did and the video we did yesterday. This has been mainly because of things in the background. A lot of things consisting of like just a lot of like different things in our personal lives that have gone on and things that had to be sorted, so the channel had to come kind of second, which I know doesn't sound great, but at the same point we want to make sure that when we do make videos for the channel, or we do make content I should say, we want it to be as polished as we can get it. So now that that's all been sorted, and there's still a bit more that needs sorting, I'll be honest, we are going to be doing more regular content again. So let me pull up my notes here. There we go. So we're going to kick off the podcast simply with some TGL news, basically. So as you may have seen, Pero Magic is no longer part of TGL, and we wish him well. But that does leave a slot open. So if anyone wants to apply for the new role at TGL, being able to do shows and do some co-op games as well, that me and Perry used to do quite a lot of, then I will put in a Google Forms link, or whatever you call it these days, down below in the description of this video, of an application form that you can just send in, dead easy, and we'll go through them. We also have the guest gamers that we still want to do, but that's on hiatus at the moment. But yeah, so the role itself that we're now looking for, I guess you call it hiring, is another presenter to work on the show, another co-host in a way. We're looking for someone who can make their own content, not necessarily edit it, because editing can be tricky. I can do a little bit of editing and that, so if you have editing, that's a bonus. If you know how to use a video editor like Sony Vegas or Premiere or whatever, After Effects, then great. If not, don't worry so much. But yeah, that is where we stand since Pero left. We have had that gap, we have had that space, and we are now in a position where we're looking to bring someone on board TGL, as well as get the community active again, because we were starting something, it was going quite well, and then it kind of dipped because of everything that was going on behind the scenes, but all that's now been cleared. So we now have the room and the space and the time to actually work at this. So like I said, if you want to apply for this, there'll be a few questions just to answer, and to make sure you have an email and a way of being able, well, let me say that again, a way of me being able to contact you, whether it's through Discord, or Twitter, just the email, whatever. It's open to everyone as long as you are 15 plus, pretty much. That's like the only requirements. Plus, you should also have a microphone of some sort. It hasn't got to be the best quality, don't worry. But obviously, when we're doing content, we want to make sure that you're able to speak and not just appear in the video. Because we won't be doing more things, which leads me on nicely, nice little segue to the next part of TGL, which is all about what TGL first was going to be. Because I don't think a lot of people realise what TGL was going to be originally. Originally, it was going to be a review site with the odd video, with game reviews, reviews, news, and walkthroughs. That's what it was meant to be. But since like I created TGL, I kind of said to myself, well, what do I actually want to do with it? And I spoke to everyone else involved, and they're like, yeah, we'll just let's make some content, let's get a community going. And That's now the focus, is the community side of it. But what we'll do plan to bring out soon is some game reviews, because I still want to do the reviews. We still want to try and publish some more games. I know our Facebook page hasn't been amazing, shall we say, and the website is completely dead. It needs a long load of work on to fix that. But we'll get there. You know, it's the thing about TGL is it's an ongoing project, so it's going to be much work in progress throughout the whole duration of TGL. We're not going to be like, right, this could be out on Monday and this could be out on Tuesday. It's, as long as we have someone to work on it and everyone's free, because we understand that, you know, people have lives to live, responsibilities, jobs. So there's no like rush, if that makes any sense. I know there's a couple of comments, some people I spoke to saying, oh, you know, your channel's dead. And it's like, well, it's not. It's just a laid back channel. So with the reviews and all that, they are going to be coming soon, I do promise. So right, so let me just get up the next thing. Okay, so let's move on to the next little topic of TGL's up and coming videos. So as you may have seen, I was on the channel yesterday. I put out another Retro Corner episode, which, fun fact, it wasn't even meant to be that game. It's meant to be a different game, but I'm working on that completely separately, because I didn't think I could just do it justice. So Retro Corner is still ticked, you know, that's still active. We're still going to be working on Retro Corner, don't worry about that. A lot of the things that you need to realise, guys, is most of the footage for things we had planned was with Pero. So we now got to like kind of change direction. So things like our golf with your friends videos, they're going to have to be changed. Things like the We Were Here series are going to have to be changed completely. We did start Tower Unite, and again, while I'm waiting for certain things to, what's the way I'm after, to be aligned, shall we say, it makes doing those kind of videos tricky, because as part of TGL I have, you know, my computer, so I can play games on it, I can record, I can stream, but Kearney, for example, doesn't have that hardware, so he can't do those kind of stuff. But you will see him do, you know, in montages or things from Xbox clips, and that's fine, you know, it's fine. It just means that like videos like when we did Portal with me and Pero, if I wanted to carry that on now, it'd just be me for a while until we get someone else, you know what I mean? So until we have another person in the, as a part of TGL, to do hosting and to work with me and to play games with me and stream and, you know, get all that going, then who knows, you know what I mean? I'm gonna have to do different content. I'm gonna have to do different videos. I'm gonna have to do a lot more single player based stuff, because it's a bit hard. I mean, I could do like random duos in videos, I guess, but that's all stuff that's in the pipeline, shall we say. But upcoming videos apart from that, like, people have been asking me, oh, where's Papers, Please? And that's on hiatus, because it turns out that when I wanted to do Papers, Please, I was like, oh, I'll do it like this, we'll have this idea, I can do this, I can do that. And you get to like 4 episodes in, and it, you know, you're reusing the same jokes. The gameplay itself isn't the most exciting, I know that. You know, you're watching someone click around and stamp, and that's it. So when it comes to editing that, especially because I'm my own editor, but don't have an editor anymore, which, if you want to become an editor of TGL, please go to the Discord and message me. Just message HardyF1 there, and, you know, any editors who want to volunteer for editing, then please get in touch. It would help. But the thing with Papers, Please is trying to be original and trying to be funny with that series, because, you know, my idea, my take on that is, you know, it is still gameplay, it's still a playthrough, but I don't want it to just be a linear playthrough that's dull, because making dull videos or dull content is something I don't really like doing. You know, it's not fair to you guys who support the channel and the community to just sit there and watch me just say the same things over and over again in the same game. So Papers, Please is on a bit of a hold. I might revisit it at some point, because I do love that game, don't get me wrong. But for the sake of like the channel, it's a bit like the F1 videos. When the channel first started, I was doing hot lap videos, and I still had loads recorded, and the other day I just ended up deleting them because it just didn't seem worthy of editing to put up. And that's a personal thing, you know. It's because, you know, I'll be honest, the thing with TGL is we're not out here to get 1 million views and 200,000 subscribers, and we're just here for a community of gamers that just want to come together and say, hey, I like playing this game, do you? Yeah, let's go play, I don't know, Apex Legends one day, play PUBG the next, play Minecraft the next after that, and, you know, somewhere where you can hang out, you can post cool pictures on the Discord, you can talk about just anything, you know, everyone's welcome. So it's just a hangout and a community of gamers, okay? So there's no bias, there's no, ooh, PC Master Race, ooh, consoles are better. It's everyone. If you play even mobile games, welcome to TGL, you can join, it's fine. So that's like the idea of TGL, is the sense of community. Excuse me. So I'm trying to get the Discord mainly, because that's where a lot of the community can actually, you know, it's very easy to access, mobile, computer, whatever, and getting that pushed is the big thing at the moment that I'm trying to work on. It's not the easiest, don't get me wrong. So there will be a link obviously to all this down below, so if you want to join the Discord and just say hey, and, you know, if you're a Fortnite player and want to play Fortnite, I'm sure, you know, I'll play. You know, anyone else in the Discord, you know, you can just say to them, oh, I like this, do you want to play that? And you can just have a general chat, and, you know, it's just a place. TGL, you know, think about it, is the game lounge. So imagine being in a lounge that's full of gamers who, you know, come together and play. And even if it's something that, I don't know, seems a bit odd at first about having a lounge full of people, because I know it sounds a bit odd, it's still a nice relaxing environment to game, to, you know, make friends and just hang out. Yeah, so that's pretty much things with TGL. Up and coming videos, as I put here in my notes, is going to be, I know it sounds a bit sketchy, but it's going to be whatever comes, whenever we've got the time and the I can't remember the other way it's going to be, but once we've got the time to actually commit to it and say, okay, we want to do this video, you know, because we've got ideas for videos, don't get me wrong, there's a lot of ideas going on in the background, there's things that we still want to be doing, but when you know, when you've got no editor, when you've got, you know, playing co-op games is fun, don't get me wrong, right? I really loved the Portal 2 series, you know, and I know you guys and girls and everyone loved it as well, and but the thing is, to have someone else there with you, then a lot of like the fun of playing the game gets better, if that makes sense. Whereas just watching one person play a game on their own isn't as fun, especially when you're the one in the recording or whatever. So that can also be a thing. Also, by the way, for those who are on YouTube, if you want to watch these podcasts live, I do post them in the Discord, but all you need to do is go to twitch.tv/thegameloungelive, which again will be down below, and in there you'll be able to just simply you know, come and watch us live. You can interact with the chat. This podcast I didn't really tweet out because I wanted to just get the information out first. But you feel free to leave questions in the comments on the video on the YouTube, and I should be able to get around to replying them. But yeah, so that's where TGL kind of is at the moment, and people have said to me, are you happy the way it's going? Is something you still actively work on? And the answer is yes. I'm actually quite happy with TGL. I think it's in a good spot to, you know, we've had a bit of a recharge, we've had a bit of a break, and, you know, come back to it now in October, especially as it's going to get colder. is going to be quite a fun little challenge to get back. Because don't get me wrong, I do have low points where I don't feel inspired and I don't feel motivated to. Or you start making a video, you record it, and you look back and go, "What the hell's that?" It's not content worthy, if that makes sense. Plus, there's a lot of things behind the scenes, a lot of stuff that I won't speak about on the podcast or in TGL, involving personal stuff, and that can cause delays to videos being done, trust me. But moving into 2020 and forward, the Game Lounge is in a good position, I think. But yeah, just remember, TGL isn't something that's designed to make money. It's not something that's aiming to make money. I mean, Christ, I don't. If it does make money in the future, great, fine, whatevs, But the first thing that comes first is the community, you guys, and you guys let us know what you enjoy, what you don't enjoy, and it's more than just a YouTube channel. I'm more than just a name. I'm not just HardyF1. I'm actually Hardy. So I want to be gaming with you guys. I want to be able to have this community. I know I keep saying the word community, but that's like the crux of TGL. That's what TGL is founded on. It's here's a little bit of history for you, a bit of background history. So I was on a holiday. If you're American, it's a vacation or a vacay. And my friend Kenny Kolkos was with me. And I'd already had, I have my own personal YouTube, my own Twitch, which again is all under HardyF1. So if you want to go see that, feel free to. But I'd already had a YouTube group called VGN, or Video Game Network, which was doing okay. We had a few hundred people, but there was no community sense of it. It was just, here's a video, watch it, like, and that's it. And in the end, there was a massive split between how it was being run. So out of like the 6-7 people in there, myself, my brother Kenny, and Pero said, we're not happy with the way it's going anymore. So we split, and then me, Pero, and Kenny wanted to just do a podcast channel for a bit. I know, and that was going to be What the Game, but What the Game didn't really take off. We didn't really commit much to it. We couldn't get the style we wanted. It was too, the thing is, you can go and watch YouTubers and it might be new video today, new video twice a week or whatever, whereas for TGL I like the fact that it's just relaxed. It's just, here's a new video when we're able to make the video, and as long as I'd rather spend 6 months making one video that's higher quality, is something you guys are going to actually enjoy, than me just making a quick video of, that's funny, cheap joke, subscribe. At the end of the day, we're not in it all for views and this whole idea of being a YouTuber, or an internet personality, because it's not the kind of people we actually are. We're just, at the time we were just free gamers who had known each other since school, and we just really wanted to get this community going. We wanted to, because after What the Game, after I said to the guys, I'm getting rid of it, it's just not working, everyone took a break. Pero went back to just gaming with another friend of ours called Animals, who does support like stuff over time. So he's not an official member of TGL, but he's definitely someone who has been there, and even like the Rocket League montages, he's in there. He's a great dude. So after the split of that, I was on a bit of a downer, had a bit of a break. It was, I really want to do something with videos and content. I waited ages to get a game PC and be able to stream and record and edit, and I finally get it, and it's like, oh shoot, what do I do with it? So yeah, I was on holiday, like I said, with Kenny Kolkos and my family, and we were playing poker. Actually, this is the funny story. We were playing poker. We just finished. I think I'd won, but I think it matters. And I remember saying to him while we were playing, I feel a bit annoyed, that What the Games didn't didn't go the way we planned it and all that. So I remember saying to him, well, I want to do something else, and we had talked about it a bit, and we'd come up with, like, you know, what kind of style, if we were actually going to work on a style, what do we want it to be? And because I was so chilled at that point, I was like, why don't we just do a nice relaxing community channel, a Discord, a YouTube channel, a Twitch stream, things, and that's why I like pushing, like, the whole guest gamers idea. I'd love to have, like, your guys' content, your videos on the channel just to share, and to be able to say, oh, look, if X so and so comments saying, oh, hey guys, I made a video, it's only 480p, well, bring it. We'll happily put anything on the channel, as long as obviously it abides to the standards. It hasn't got to be a masterpiece, so. And I remember saying to him, I just want to make something where you can just, like, lounge about and is gaming, hence the Game Lounge. So I know, a cool name, right? Mind blown, definitely. And I remember saying it to him. I said, well, what about something like the Game Lounge? And he was like, I think that's a great idea. So I got home on the Monday, and by Tuesday afternoon, I'd already started creating the basics for it. I messaged Pero and I was like, hey, I'm starting the Game Lounge, and this time's going to be different, which I just said before, don't worry. And he was excited, I was excited, we were ready to do some videos, and we started off just posting clips. So that's why it was just like the random Euro Truck Sim clips, or the Siege clips, and funny moments and all that, just to get something out there. And it's obviously evolving over time, but the core thing of that is just community, in the sense of people coming together who just play games. There's a lot of stuff going on in the world, and, like, that's fine in that, but TGL isn't a political statement. TGL isn't a viewpoint. TGL is just, hey, I like playing Minecraft. Do you want to come play Minecraft? Hey, I love playing Fortnite. Do you want to play Fortnite? Hey, I love playing State of Decay 2. I don't know. Random game to go to. But it's for, people to come together who are just gamers, people who like video games, whether they're casual video games or hardcore or diehards or whatever, and just be able to say, right, well, I just want to be able to meet some new people, make some friends, have some laughs along the way, and we can do community events. It'd be cool to do, like the podcast itself. Next time when Kenny's available, I'll get him on the show, because that's what I like about the podcast as well. It's a nice, chilled, relaxing environment. Hence why I chose a fireplace picture, just for the ambient bit, as well as this, like, ambient music. So, but yeah, that's the state of TGL at the moment. So at the moment, we're in a good place. Mentally, we're in a good place, because that's for another day. But at the moment, I'm quite content with TGL and the way it's going, and the plans that I've drawn out for the future are quite cool. But again, just to reiterate, so yeah, if you want to apply to become a main host of TGL, then fill out the Google Forms, which, if you're watching this video as it gets posted live from the Twitch stream, the link might not be there yet, but I will brush it out, don't worry. I will try and get it done before it uploads to YouTube. It'll only be a simple 5-minute form anyway. So if you want to apply for that, you can do. So let's get into the next bit of the podcast, moving on swiftly to video game news, because I did say I wanted to push video game news. So obviously it's been a little while since I last did this, and I haven't got anyone else to talk to at the moment on the podcast about some of these articles, because if you watched one of the last podcasts, we were going through articles and we were commenting on them. So I think let's catch up a little bit from, like, the last few days. The biggest news that we first saw was Red Dead Redemption 2 was announced for PC, which people have been asking for, and the game itself is great, don't get me wrong. I didn't enjoy it fully though, because I didn't, I know, whoa, controversial statement, wow. I didn't play it, I didn't buy it for the story, because the story is great and it's well driven and it takes it's so many hours to complete and all that. A little bit of background history. I got Red Dead Redemption 1 not at launch, but a few years later. And me and my friends would just play it online, posses, and I got it for the online. That's just me being honest. And the online wasn't that great. It might be getting better, but I ended up getting rid of Red Dead Redemption 2. And, like, that's fine, that's a personal thing, but the actual game itself is a masterpiece, in my opinion. Graphically, it's Rockstar Games, it's going to be, amazing. The story as well, because I did play a bit of the story, I played a couple of hours into the story, and even that was quite good. I just didn't have the, drive in me to say, oh, I really want to complete this story, I really want to finish it, because for me, Red Dead Redemption isn't the story game that I wanted to play. It was the, hey, let's get 6 of us online, go around the posse, and start doing all these bounties and all this other stuff. But that's for another thing. But I think the fact that when Red Dead Redemption 2 was announced originally and it was coming to Xbox One and PlayStation 4, it's one of those sigh moments for PC gamers, because like GTA 5, where it's like, ugh, it's not coming out again, is it? But then whatever happens in Rockstar, they decide, oh well, let's bring it to PC. There's a market for it, there's a demand for it, so it should be cool as well. Plus, there is that theory that Pero had a while ago. Last time I spoke to him about this, was maybe they didn't want people to mod it. They wanted people to actually enjoy the story, especially if you're working hundreds of hours, I should say, on making this, great game. And someone comes along and goes, oh, I modded it so it can look like this, or it can feel like that, and it can do this, and I kind of get that, but I don't, who knows if that's true. But that's Red Dead Redemption 2 anyway. So, the other big news, which came from yesterday, if you're watching this on the 9th of October, was Sony officially announced the PS5, because obviously they announced, next-gen hardware is great, but they hadn't called it the PS5 properly. They said, the PS5 is coming, I think it's holidays 2020, so it will obviously be next year. But the big news, especially because if you go to Games Radar, because again, the thing with Games Radar and all the other sources that we get this, always go and check them out if you want, but I'll always say where we get it from. Always give them the credit. They were talking about how the PS5 backwards compatibility is still being worked on by Sony, because Sony, I think, are looking into complete compatibility, and you put that in brackets, because no one knows how it's going to work. I mean, are we talking about a console that's going to actually play PS1 discs and PS2 discs, or is it again emulated, which I guess it would be, but can it actually read off the discs, or does it have to be like a Wii Virtual Console style, where you have to rebuy the games you already own at a higher price and you actually want to pay for them? But I think that is a huge thing if it's going to be, from PS1 up to PS5, putting the disc in you already own, and it just, plays. Because, the thing with Xbox, because I am obviously a big Xbox gamer with my Xbox One X, when they announced backwards compatibility, it was like, oh yes, we have to play this, this, and this, and then all of a sudden it was, well, you can only play games that we put in the program, and it took forever to get the games people actually wanted out. Whereas if Sony can just come out with, well, we've got hardware that does that, you just put your disc in, and it's a personal thing, then it should be allowed, it should be fine dandy, tixie boo. So that is something that's quite good. I mean, I don't know if Microsoft are going to come back with something for the Xbox Project Scarlet, is that what it's called, if I remember? Let me just double check. Yeah, Project Scarlet, I was right. And it's cool, seeing where games, especially games consoles, are coming from. But even with Project Scarlet, and this is off Xbox's website, but Project Scarlet will set a new bar for console power, speed, and performance, arriving wholly 2020. Again with the PS5, alongside Halo Infinite. So there's your big push. Here's our new console with the game that is synonymous with the console, with a custom designed AMD processor, high bandwidth GDDR6 memory, and a next gen SSD. The thing is, if you're a PC gamer, you already know about especially if you're an enthusiast, SSDs and getting an i9 now, i9 9900K or something that's fantastic. But seeing this kind of stuff coming into games consoles is just awesome. Whether you like Xbox or PlayStation, just, you know, from 2020 onwards, we're going to have these ridiculously high quality games, shorter loading times, which, again, when they launched the Xbox One, I remember them saying loading times are going to be, you know, less, and you're going to be pushing out great graphics, and then it came out that, well, the hard drive inside, it's not as fast as, you know, like, I think the internal one on the standard Xbox, the original Xbox One, was 5400 RPM, which is read speed. I know I'm boring some of you, but what you need to know is, like, my hard drive that I got external is 7200, so it reads the data quicker, you get into games quicker. So I know there's a lot of things that the original Xbox had promised, and you know, like, we thought we were going to get a 1080p console because PS4 came out 1080p, and instead it was 900p, and people were like, wait, what? So we had all that, but yeah, you know, things like Project Scarlet do look impressive, you know, and obviously the companies are going to build hype. They always are. They always will do. You know, if you've been around video games long enough and you watch E3, you're like, oh, this game looks amazing, and then the game comes out and it's like, really? That's it? You know, you gotta remember it is designed to look good because it needs to sell. Plus, you know, things like Microsoft now expanding more into Windows games, you know, like Halo Massive Collection coming to Steam and all that. You know, the thing with like Halo Infinite, and don't get me wrong, I'm not a massive Halo player, I'm not big into Halo, I've played a few. The thing is, like, the detail that they did show, like, there's a photo, and you can search if Halo Infinite, it'll be probably the first one that comes up, is Master Chief holding his helmet. And I know it sounds wrong out of context. But the reflection of the visor of the Warthog and the detail in that is amazing. But obviously that's a screenshot, and, you know, you can get high quality screenshots, but in game 60 FPS 4-5K, that's gonna be amazing. So it's cool because, you know, not everyone is a PC gamer, not everyone can afford a super expensive high quality PC, so which does obviously beg the question, how much is a PS5 and an Xbox Project Scarlet they end up calling the Xbox One X or something like that, I don't know. Being able to see what they're going to come out with is going to be quite cool. But again, I think, you know, if Sony are going to be coming out with complete, well, if they do complete backwards compatibility, then Xbox has to match it in that regard. I mean, don't get me wrong, there's, like anything, there's pros and cons of everything. There'll be a pro about an Xbox and a con about an Xbox. There's a pro about a PlayStation that Xbox hasn't got, and, you know, vice versa. But all in all, I think 2020 is going to be awesome for video gamers, for the technology. The games that come out for it are going to be questionable because who knows what's coming out, you know. But they'll be good, you know. There'll be cool games coming out, I'm sure. I mean, the only downside will be the prices, you know. I know I sound old manish, but, you know, back in my day when I was a kid, you know, I could get a PlayStation 1 game for £20 in England, which nowadays, if you were to get, like, you know, a PS4 game, it's £50. So, you know, more than double the price. So if the prices of games keep going the way they're going, it's gonna just get ridiculous. So hopefully they'll change. But that is the PlayStation article I was reading, and again, you can check that out on Games Radar. I think it was on. I just closed it. Oops. But okay, let's move on to the next article, which again is from Games Radar. Don't get me wrong, I'm not a Games Radar only fanboy. Don't get me wrong, I do use other ones. So this news I remember seeing on Twitter off a friend of mine, and I was like, wait, are you just saying that? And then it's actually have an article now. It's good. This is about the Simpsons Hit and Run. So if you're like me, and when GTA, what game would it have been? San Andreas, Vice City, that kind of era of games were coming out. If you were a child, and don't get me wrong, you see children now who are like 6 and 7, they're playing GTA 5 and running over people. It's like, should you be playing that at that age? But, you know, I constantly, when I was playing GTA when I was 7, because my brother was playing it, so, you know, I was allowed to, but my parents trusted me that I wasn't going to do, you know, imitate or anything, which is fine, you know, worked out fine, happy days. But Simpsons Hit and Run was the cartoon version of GTA, I guess. I can't remember the company that even made it. I'll just try and see if I can Google that now. Hit and Run. Was it THQ? Developer Radical Entertainment. There we go. And I think they're still going, but I'm not sure. Well, so the Prototype 2, they were doing that, yeah, and they've done some layoffs and not great. But anyway, back to Simpsons Hit and Run. That game, when I was a kid, everyone in my school was talking about it. We were all playing it. It was, oh, you can get the rocket car, and it's Simpsons but in a video game, but it's not what you expect, because you expect Simpsons video game to be kind of like cheesy and cartoony in a way. And that was just with people who wanted to play GTA, but in a bit like Fortnite without if you think about Fortnite and PUBG, you've got blood effects, you've got actual bullets, whatever. In Fortnite you've got the cartoony style, but Simpsons Hit and Run was just a great game, especially when you're a kid, and even today, even though we're adults, it's still a great game. So going back to this news story, I hear you say, before I start rambling on like Abe Simpson. I think it was Lad Bible originally had an interview with someone called Vlad Seraldi, who I think was a producer of Simpsons Hit and Run, and he basically came out and said, "Oh, I could see it being remastered, or even remade for today's current platforms," which kind of got everyone going, "Oh my god, this is a remaster? Is it common?" Which you have to kind of like backpedal a bit and say there's no confirmation of a remaster, but it wouldn't surprise us if all parties could get together and say, listen, this game was a big success, people want it. Again, it's knowing the market and knowing how people want it and how much you pay for it and the time that it's going to cost to remaster it, because you can't just take a PlayStation 2 game, slap an Xbox One sticker on to that it works. You've got to rechange everything. Then they'd improve the graphics, the gameplay, take out the bugs they didn't take out last time, and especially back on the PS2 day, you didn't really get patches, whereas now you do. So there's a lot of that kind of stuff. Wow, originally released in 2003. Yeah. Damn, I'm old, and I'm only in my 20s. So, but I remember that game coming out. I remember getting it. I was so hyped up for it. So if a remaster comes, I think that'd be awesome. But again, it's getting the studio to remaster it. It's if it's going to take a year or two to make, cost you X amount of money, and then you're going to sell it for like 60 quid. Is it the same kind of price bracket as Call of Duty? And would people pay that? Look at Anthem and that disaster. Can we now call it a disaster? Because Anthem, I feel sorry for Anthem and BioWare, because that game looks so good, and then when people played it, they're like, "Is this it? Really?" So. But that's by the by. But yeah, if Simpsons Hit and Run does come back with a remaster, I'll be happy. I know a lot of people will be very happy, as long as they price it right. But again, that's only I won't say a rumour, but it was something that's been quoted from Vlad Seraldi. So if you want to check that out, you can go to Lab Bible or Games Radar and just type into Google Simpsons Hit and Run remaster and see what comes up. Okay, let's go on to the next one that I've got prepared here. Tom Clancy's Ghost Recon Breakpoint. Now there's a fun one to talk about. So when they announced this and showed off the gameplay, saying, "Oh, you're the one being hunted instead of you hunting people," I was like, "Ooh, that's quite cool." And then I played the beta for like a day, and it felt okay. But things that really annoy me in that game is like how close the camera is to your person, and it's definitely a game that is more fun squad based. It's really dull by yourself, and back in the day, I might have 4 or 5 of us that want to go and play it, and now it's like 2. But the reason why I brought this up is Kotaku did a review about it, and even Metacritic give it like 5 out of 10, because they were just like, "Oh, it's a disaster," like Wildlands, is what they were saying. Even here in Kotaku's article, Ghost Recon Wildlands was a disaster, which again is their their statement, not mine. The thing is, like, the thing with Ghost Recon games is they look good, but people are saying the dialogue's awful, the characters a bit meh. And like, even when I played it, it seemed okay, but I don't know, there's something missing for me, like an X factor. That's why I may end up buying it, but not now and not for a little while. Don't get me wrong, if you know, let me know in the comments if you've got Ghost Recon Breakpoint and you're enjoying it. But like, even Metacritic the game was described as underwhelming and miserable, with criticism for its characters, dialogue, mission design, and microtransactions. Again, microtransactions, just, you know, pay to win. I think the thing that publishers don't understand, I guess, because not necessarily the game developers, especially like Treyarch, well known that they make a game and Activision phones them and says, hey, put microtransactions in because we want to, you know, make more money. So the thing with like Breakpoint and Ubisoft is, you know, they get the studio, I think it was Ubisoft Paris, to make the game, and then someone in marketing and finances say, well, if you make microtransactions and we make £2.49 on V-Bucks or, you know, their version, I don't know, Breakpoint coins, I don't know. See, the thing with microtransactions, everyone's a downer on them, but they can be quite good when it's not pay to win. That's the difference. Pay to win is such an annoying thing, and we don't want to, especially if you're a gamer, you don't want to feel ripped off. You know, like the whole Battlefront 2 drama. You know, back in the day, we were in a point where like you play a kind of GoldenEye, and you know, the more time you put into that, the more you unlock. Fair enough, but the fact that, you know, someone can come in and just say, well, I'm going to spend £6 and I'm going to get this gun, which is the best gun in the game, it's overpowered, and there's your win, is like, you know, it just feels so scummy when it's like pay to win. You know, the whole thing about microtransactions and Recon Breakpoint is, you know, the fact that people were getting early access as soon as, like, you know, you could just bypass missions that you'd have to grind by just buying it. You know, time saves. I think they got removed at some point, I think. But, you know, like, the whole thing, like, you know, look at Fortnite, you know, cosmetics only, things that don't give you an edge to win but look good. You know, Rocket League, for example, crates, and there's a whole a whole barrel that we could get into at another point in the podcast, but it won't be in this one, unfortunately. But the things that aren't play to win are the things that are better. So, you know, we still have that kind of stuff. But yeah, so Recon Breakpoint, people saying it's a bit of a mess. If you've played it or you've got it and you like it and you think they're wrong, let us know and we can talk about it. But, you know, that's them. But it's in the news because people are talking about it and people are like, oh, maybe it is a mess, and people are saying, oh, this is annoying and that. So the thing is, like, it's just one of them. But like, looking forward, there are some cool games coming out as well. Let's move on to that, because I think I talked enough about Wildlands. Breakpoint. There are some cool games coming out. You know, the new Call of Duty, especially with a big Call of Duty head like I was back in the day. That's quite cool. The beta was quite fun, and I know there's a whole thing about survival mode being, you know, a year only on PlayStation 4 for a year, and then it comes to other things, and whatever happens with that happens. But it's not something that really bothers me because I'll be playing the multiplayer. But I know it will bother some people. So, but looking ahead, you know, things like the new Grid game has come out or is coming out. I think it's out now. Don't quote me on that. But the original Grid was amazing. Grid 2 was awful. In my opinion, Grid Autosport just felt really cheap when I got that, because like they put cockpit mode in for driving, then blur everything. Just seems like, why? You know, I won't be able to see my dashboard information. It's part of the effect of like seeing as if you're there driving it, I guess. That's a personal thing, but the new Grid looks really good. It looks like a good remaster of the original Grid, but it's meant to be a different game completely, and I will pick that up eventually. The new WWE game, 2K20, should be out soon as well, so fans of WWE games can get the next installment. You know, going back to things like Mario and Sonic at the Olympic Games, that looks fun. You know, we had a Mario and Sonic Olympic Games it's actually been really good since the Wii ones, in my opinion. That should be quite good, and I'm looking forward to that. Death Stranding as well. That should be coming out. Is it November? Yeah, 8th November 2019. That game looks really weird, but it's Hideo Kojima, so if you're gonna make Metal Gear, you know where you stand with them. And then looking at 2020, like Lego Star Wars, we've got a new game coming with the new saga, which is gonna be cool. There's a new Dragon Ball Z game if you're into Dragon Ball Z, like Kenny Colcos is, because he's a massive fan of Dragon Ball Z. There's like a new Need for Speed, I think it's Need for Speed Heat, and there's a lot of like cool niche games coming, especially a lot of indie games that are always coming. Breath of the Wild 2, for Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild 2 is coming soon. But I don't know when that's coming. Watch Dogs Legion is coming in 2020 as well, and that looked quite good. Rainbow Six Quarantine as well, that's coming out. That's a big Siege player, that looks interesting, but I don't know if I'll pick it up, I'll be honest. Who knows? 2020 is going to be exciting to see, but obviously as we get nearer to Christmas and New Year, the podcast then will talk all about 2020 and what we want to see and what we don't want to see and what we'll actually get, which will be quite cool. Yeah, so that is pretty much it for game news. And if I just check my notes, yeah, that's pretty much going to be it. So I'm going to wrap this up. Thank you for joining us. Joining me today on the TGL podcast number 4. I hope I managed to clear up, a lot of like the reasons why things haven't been as immediate with TGL, how it's different to other channels. We are posting content, it's just we haven't been able to do it regularly yet. Again, we're always looking for more people to come on board. Even if you just want to, even if you just want to do a video with us and be in it, that helps. If you say, oh, I really want to be in your next video, I play this, and I can say, right, well, let's do a video on that, I'll record it, whatever, edit in, you can be there. It's just a bit of fun, in community. Again, I know I should call this podcast the community podcast. But that's the whole thing with TGL and where we're going, is community. Pushing that to what we want it to be. Again, if you want to apply, the link will be below in the description on the YouTube of the form that you can fill out, and you'll be able to fill it out, like I said, within 5 minutes or so, and I'll be able to, after that, I'll message you through the contact details you leave, and we can discuss what kind of things you want to do, what kind of things you have access to, like a computer, an Xbox, a PlayStation, a Nintendo Wii, So that's coming as well. Again, game news and reviews on separate videos will be coming as well. And a lot of stuff will be coming to the Facebook page as well. There'll be a lot of written reviews, because not everything has to be a video, because I don't want people to think TGL, oh, that's just that YouTube channel. No, it's more than the YouTube channel. Again, community. I should put in a counter of how many times I've said community this podcast, including that one. But yeah, so the next video is coming. I just can't give you a date, but if you want to keep up to date with when the video does come, then join my Discord down below, follow the Facebook down below, and then even if we haven't posted anything, you can always inbox me on Discord and say, hey Hardy, there's no videos recently, when's the next one, do you know? And if I know, I can then tell you. But thank you for listening into this TGL podcast. I hope you've had a great time of the past 49 minutes that I've taken up. So the next video is coming soon. If you do like what we do, then make sure to let us know, and make sure to hit that subscribe button, because it does help. Plus, the more people, the merrier. Let's get this community going. Let's get it. We're all excited for what TGL can become. So let TGL become this thing we want TGL to become, which is a community. Okay, that's the last time I say that word, I promise. But I've been HardyF1. You've been awesome. This has been the TGL podcast number 4, and it is available on the YouTube. And yeah, I'm going to leave it there. Have a great night or day, wherever you are when you're listening to this. You have an awesome face, I'm sure, and make sure to stay tuned for the next one. Until then, thank you for listening, and peace out.